It's been a while since I've played a Pokemon game. Not too long, as I did play through Pokemon Violet when it released, but that was already a few years ago, and I've been getting this itch to come back to Pokemon a bit recently. Of course, with Pokemon ZA releasing around the moment that I was feeling this way, it couldn't have come at a better time. The only thing is, I wasn't even that interested in this game after having seen the trailers. I never played Legends Arceus myself, and the new game being wholly contained in Lumiose City with all these holographic walled-off wild zones seemed a little strange to me. But of course, one of my friends got the game and started streaming their playthrough to a group Discord call, and immediately the gameplay itself sold me, and I knew I had to get it. Now let's talk about my overall impressions of the game and its systems so I can come to terms with whether or not it was actually worth the Canadian $94 that I spent on it. First of all, we have the storyline quests, which I wasn't recording on my way through it, so I'll be using other footage to show here. I think the story in this game is great. The characters were all fun to interact with, minus a couple exceptions, and the overall plot was interesting to me as a fan of Gen 6. Pokemon Y was the first Pokemon game I ever purchased for myself, not the first I ever played through, but the first I ever owned, and I quickly fell in love with it. So naturally, with this new game being based in the central city of one of my favorite ever regions in Pokemon, and having a story based on the years after the events of those long past games, I was bound to enjoy it at least somewhat. I do think this game, more than most 3D Pokemon games, would have really benefited from having voice actors, but I know that's not how Pokemon games do things, so it didn't feel too out of place in the end. I think the boss battles with the rogue Mega Evolved Pokemon were cool, I liked the characters, I enjoyed rising through the ranks during the ZA Royale at night, and I liked that the spoiler events were tied to what we already knew about the characters from this region from the Gen 6 games. And on top of everything, we were introduced to Corbo in this game, who would go on to be my favorite character of them all. Sure, he's quick to extort people for their money by lending some out with a ridiculously high interest rate that would be near impossible to pay back if borrowing money is where you're at in your life at the moment, but he also shows that despite his French mafia organization exterior, he cares a lot about the city and its people and basically has you performing public services to get your friends out of debt. I think he's funny, I think he's cool, I think his style is goddamn impeccable, and I just love him. Let me also throw in here that the side quests are pretty cool too. It's not just a bunch of copy and pasted stuff all over the place, it's actually just a bunch of people that need help with something, and while it often just turns into a Pokemon battle, it feels like more than that because I like to read the dialogue. Might not be for everybody, but I like them. Moving beyond the quests though, we also have Mabel's research. Let me just say first off that it's kind of sad Professor Sycamore didn't make it into this game, as he is one of my favorite professor designs, but Mabel is at least pretty fun to talk to whenever she comes around. Mabel's research is basically a series of collectathon quests that you can complete to earn rewards, which is pretty cool. We've got quests to collect Pokemon from every wild zone, quests to complete the Pokedex, quests to catch, 50 of every type of Pokemon, which is a little much, but not too hard, I guess. And then we have the infamous 1000 trainer battles requirement. This research quest is downright terrible, as during my whole 24-hour play through the story of this game, I only got about 250 of them done. As many of you will know, the easiest, most AFK method to get this done is to travel to this restaurant here and repeatedly battle the 3 trainers inside of it, but it just takes way too long to complete no matter which way you slice it. And of course, this is just an optional side quest that you would only need to complete if you were chasing a 100% save file, right? Wrong! As many people will agree, the true post-game to any Pokemon title is shiny hunting all your favorite Pokemon, and the best way to go about that is to complete the Pokedex and achieve your reward of the shiny charm, giving you 4 times better shiny odds. But in this game, they hid it behind the final reward in the research quests. This is a huge bummer. It's not hard to spam these restaurant battles to get the quest finished, but it does take a very long time considering you aren't really getting anything else done in the game during these 8 or more hours that you're gonna be in here. I guess you make a bit of money while doing this, but there are way faster ways to get cash in this game, so it's not even very good for that. I think start to end I came out with something like 700,000 Pokédollars, but for how long that took me, it is not a good money making method. This is the biggest downside of the game in my opinion, as shiny hunting is a big part of every Pokemon game experience for me. Okay. Story good, research quest locked shiny charm bad. What else is there? Oh, I don't know, maybe the battle system in this game? Long story short, I love these battle mechanics. My older brother and I used to talk as kids about how cool it would be to have a more active style of combat in Pokemon games like the anime had, where you can command your Pokemon to do things while having it maneuver around the arena to avoid attacks, or reposition for other strategic purposes, and this is the closest thing we've gotten to that yet. I honestly love how it plays, and I can't get over it. In Pokemon ZA, we have an active battle style. Your Pokemon will follow you around in battle, allowing you to walk out of the range of certain attacks your opponent is using, and giving your Pokemon commands will have them stand still and use their abilities. The key here is that every one of your Pokemon's attacks will have an individual cooldown timer that ticks up before you can use it again, creating this really interesting gameplay loop of timing your attacks correctly, dodging out of the way of opponents' attacks, switching out or mega evolving your Pokemon in order to dodge an attack with the right timing, and using status abilities carefully in order to avoid being hit while using them. I know this battle style is going to turn a lot of people off from this game, but I also know there have to be people out there like me that love it as much as I do. With this new style of battling though, what do the online matches look like? To play online, we have the ranked mode. Ranked mode is the only option, by the way. There is no casual play or anything, which I think is kind of interesting, as it could be used to try out new Pokemon without affecting your rank if your new team idea doesn't pan out. But then again, it's really easy to gain ranked points, and honestly kind of hard to lose ranked points until you get higher up in the top 5 ranks or so. So maybe not a big deal in the end. Anyways, these battles are all 4-person free-for-all matches. You all spawn on different sides of the different arenas they'll have you battling in, and then you all get to walk around and try to find the right window of opportunity to attack an opponent your Pokemon matches up well against. With the active combat style and the multiple opponents you'll have to be aware of at all times, it can be pretty hard to get used to, but honestly, it's been a blast for me as long as I've played it. It's not boring, it's typically not too hard to pick off a couple kills by attacking Pokemon that get into the low HP range, and with the addition that you can only swap your Pokemon 3 times, I think there's a lot of strategy involved here, even if it may look like a bit of a mess on the surface. If you have this game and you haven't tried the online ranked mode yet, I highly recommend you do if you're already a fan of the battle mechanics in Pokemon ZA. The final thing I'd like to talk about is the shiny hunting experience I've had with the game. I don't know if it's something many people would love coming from shiny hunting methods in older games, but honestly, it's very chill and I do like it. Most shiny hunting methods will revolve around resetting Pokemon spawns as fast as possible in order to get a shiny to appear, which makes sense, but it also means that you'll be spending a lot of your time repeatedly resting at a bench to change the time of day, running back and forth to despawn and respawn Pokemon, or repeatedly flying to an area to reset Pokemon that can be found within it. Shiny hunting in ZA is definitely not the most involved shiny hunting has ever been in previous titles, but I do think it's a fun activity to turn your brain off and run for a while. With the shiny charm, that bastard shiny charm, you'll have about a 1 in 1,000 chance to find a shiny, and with how many Pokemon spawn around some of these benches and flight locations, you're bound to find one without too much time spent. I think the shiny hunting being so chill in this game is a plus, but I'd understand if it doesn't scratch every shiny hunter's itch. Aside from those 4 things, the story, the research quests, the battles, and shiny hunting, I don't think there's a lot left to talk about. I think the character customization is quite good, and I really like making all sorts of outfits in this game, even if they don't have every clothing option in every color. I think the city as the sole location for this game works quite nicely, but you can take my Gen 6 bias with a grain of salt there. And honestly, overall, I've just been having a really great time. I don't have all these hours on my save file for no reason, you know? But one question remains. Do I think this game was worth $94? Seeing as I'm pretty close to doubling the amount of hours I have in this game as the dollars that I spent on it, I would actually say that it was worth the money for me specifically, because I knew I'd be shiny hunting in this game for quite a while. But for the average Pokemon fan, I'm not so sure. This is an expensive game, and I was done with the main story quests after only 24 hours. If I only spent a quick 24 in this game and called it a day, I'd be pretty upset with how expensive it was. And to be perfectly clear, I am still upset with how expensive this game is. I think I've made my money's worth of gameplay hours in this game for sure, but $94 is no small cost. I think if you like Pokemon, you know you'll be playing online or shiny hunting or something after your story quests are done, and you have money you're comfortable with essentially throwing away, this game might be right up your alley. But if you're unsure, maybe don't commit to the purchase quite yet. It is a lot of fun, but you can't hide the fact that it's ridiculously expensive. Anyways, I'm gonna keep shiny hunting now as I get this video all edited up and posted, so I hope you all have a great day. Like the video if you liked the video, and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more from me. I make videos here all the time, and I'm always trying to get better at it, so sticking around could be a good investment of your time. As for now though, my name's Milo, and I'm out.